North Carolina is getting expensive in the sneakiest way possible. And I'm not talking about rent or groceries, I'm talking about that utility bill. The bill keeps going up, but the electricity use in the house is staying the same. Like, no one is suddenly running a nightclub out of their living room, using the same lights, same TV, same appliances, but yet you're seeing your bills still increase. It actually kind of feels disrespectful.
Was anybody else's Duke Energy bill astronomically high this month? Mine was $400. What the hell?
Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina. I think those are the three. This video is for anybody living in that state. Can somebody please tell me why the light bill is so high? What? Dominion, Virginia, Dominion, North Carolina, whatever. What is going on? Why is it that I have to pay $2,000 for a light bill? I got to get a second job just to pay the light bill alone. While y'all protesting everything else, protest, Dominion. Because it doesn't make sense to me why the light bill got to be so high. Why is my light bill the price of a rent, somebody's rent? Why? I work, don't know about it, hardly ever be in my house. Why is my light bill that high?
Y'all, have you checked your electric bills lately? Well, I have, and in the app it said that I'm using most of my electricity heating my house. Well, guess what, y'all? Our only heat source in our home is a wood freaking stove. So what am I paying for every month? $400 electric bills for what?
The people in North Carolina aren't imagining it. Our power bills are literally skyrocketing. Electricity costs here have already gone up a lot in the past few years. And reports say they've risen about 22% since 2020. And on top of that, energy demand in North Carolina is exploding because the population is growing and things like data centers use an insane amount of power. So while the state is booming, people's bills are climbing right along with it. And a lot of residents are asking the same question. Why does living here in North Carolina keep getting more expensive?
So I live in North Carolina, and where I live, if you have electricity, you get it from a company called Duke Energy. And Duke Energy just got caught. They got proven in court that they broke the law and overcharged all of their customers. And we live in a monopoly of they're the only company. So there's not like you can, go buy energy from someone else. If you have electricity, you're getting it from Duke Energy. And they got caught. They broke the law and overcharged all of us. And North Carolina government says they don't have to repay us, even though they broke the law. And as a matter of fact, a bunch of Republicans in North Carolina are passing a law to make it to where it's legal for them to, what used to be illegal, and just overcharge their customers. The whole power grids in this country are so messed up because they're supposedly private companies, and yet they have monopolies in the districts that they control. And anytime that any infrastructure is built, the taxpayers have to pay for it. Like if there's new power lines or anything like that needs to be put in, a new power plant, the taxpayers end up paying for it. And then the power company ends up charging the customers for the infrastructure that they already paid for with their taxes. Yeah, our power grid's really stupid. And if you live in North Carolina, you should probably vote against all the people in our state and local governments because they're the ones letting Duke Energy do this crap.
Did anybody else get one of these today? This is a little save money and energy. Learn how to cut your costs and earn rebates. This is for Duke Energy and their new price rollouts so that we, the American people, can pay for AI data centers. They want us to be responsible so that AI data centers can use our electricity and we can pay for it. Duke Energy just reported a $5 billion record quarter. $5 billion record quarter. And do you know how Duke Energy sat at the board meeting today and decided that they were going to thank us for having such a huge quarter? They were going to raise prices 17.9%. So I decided to do a little research on Duke Energy. And Duke Energy just got bought out by a really big company. It's one of those three companies that we all talk about. Yeah, welcome to America.
What happened to the promise of lower energy bills? Many families in North Carolina are forced to choose between buying groceries, paying rent, filling up their gas, or keeping the lights on. And for working families living paycheck to paycheck, This is becoming impossible.
This question goes out to Duke Power. My power bill in the wintertime goes up to $400 and $500 a month on some months. Something's going on because the power usage in my house doesn't change for wintertime. Now in the summer I can see it going up a little bit because of the AC that I got in one of the windows in the house. But still, going from around $100 or so in the spring and in the fall and jumping up to nearly $500-600 in the winter, just random hikes in my power bill for no apparent reason.
Duke Energy, why is my bill getting higher and higher? Every month my bill done got higher. How? We don't need to be at the house that much for my bills to be this high. We either at work, kids at school. Now the summertime is here, they at camp, and we still at work. We don't get home to about 8, sometimes 9, because my daughter got trapped right after I picked them up from camp. Why is our bill this high? Why? Then on the weekends we ain't even at the house because we had track meets. Only day that we're really here all day is on a Sunday. Why is my bill high? Each and every month is higher and higher. How? How?
Duke Energy, you need to count your days, because why is the light bill going from $200 to $1,000? What is going on? Anybody else in North Carolina where that light bill has gone up to $1,000 or even more? Like, what are we doing? This weather is changing. We got to keep the heat on. Then it gets cold. Then it snows. Then it rains. Then it want to be sunny again. Like, am I the only one? I know I'm not the only one, because actually before my grandma passed away, her bill actually with Duke Energy was like 3 something, maybe 2 something, and went up to $1,000. And I'm like, what in the world we got plugged in? We got to start unplugging everything before we leave the house. Unplug the TV, unplug the refrigerator, unplug the deep freezers, unplug the microwave, stop turning the lights on during the daytime. Just use the lights, put the blinds up. I don't know, but Duke Energy,
I need to know, Duke Energy, who the fuck y'all feeling like? Who this for? Because I know me and my 8-year-old ain't ran up no $367 light bill, and I was paying $70 for the past 4 years. Who the fuck is y'all feeling like? And who the fuck y'all think y'all scamming? Okay? I know good and well that ain't from me. Somebody better tell me something. I know that. At this point, y'all the biggest scammers in Charlotte.
I just wanted to give the North Carolinians an update on the Duke Energy stealing from us situation. I don't have a ton to report other than that my bill is still sky high, even for the next month, that it's been warmer. I haven't paid my bill. I hope you're not paying your bill. I hope that you are making them at least feel any kind of squeeze for this. I am now at the point where they are threatening to turn off my power. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to go without power. And for all of you who are in the comments of my original video saying, you need to just install solar, I live in an apartment and can't afford my energy bill. I don't know how you expect me to install solar as a solution. That's not a real solution. And in fact, it's one coming from a position of privilege. Being able to find other options is a privilege, because right now I have the Duke Energy mob with my hands behind my back saying, give us an extra $200 a month or we're going to make your energy go away and you're going to lose all the food in your fridge and you're going to lose access to Wi-Fi and humanity. Like, there's nothing I can do other than hold the money from them as long as possible and hope that other people are doing it too, because they're actually like shaking us down and it's kind of crazy. So I'm gonna eventually have to pay the minimum amount to keep my lights on and keep the food in my fridge, because unfortunately I have no other option. But then I'm going to continue to hold money from them until they threaten to turn it off again, because I have to push back against them in some way on a personal level. I refuse to let this injustice go without any repercussion, even if it's just me and I'm the only one not paying Duke Energy on time. But I sincerely hope there are other people who are also making them feel the squeeze in this way. I personally think it's the only way we're going to actually see any change.
What is happening here in North Carolina with Duke Energy is a textbook example of voting against your own best interest. The North Carolina Supreme Court just ruled that Duke Energy broke the law by billing us, their customers, for extra fuel cost in 2022, I believe it was. Okay. So if you don't live here and you're not aware of the way it operates here, Duke has a monopoly. There's a few other small service providers in the state, but all in all, Duke holds a monopoly here in North Carolina. And the reason they do is because they own the Republicans that run this state. They are in their pockets. They contribute millions of dollars a year to their campaign funds. So much that the legislature knew that Duke was going to lose this court case. So they called a special session and wrote in a new law that says that basically any expense that Duke incurs, they can take it from their customers. And there's no reason for us to try to get our money back from Duke because they're just going to bill us for it anyways. So keep voting for Republicans, my fellow citizens of North Carolina. Let me know how that electric bill looks next month when you open it up, because it's not going to get any better. I say we all put our political differences to the side for a minute. Just don't pay your Duke bill. Fuck them. What are they going to do? And it's only going to take 1 month. If we can organize and if for 1 month, 50% of this state decide we're not paying our electric bill, they'll get the message real fucking quick.
Be aware that Duke Energy of North Carolina is shutting the power off to homes with the elderly in it. My mother passed away earlier this year, and I've been managing her home while we sell it. And I missed one payment because I thought the auto pay had been set up. It was a mistake. So they shut the power off. Mind you, before she passed, there are 2 people living in that home who are over the age of 80, one dying of cancer, the other with dementia. And it was 30 degrees the other night in North Carolina. Mind you, Republicans have been feeding their corruption for decades. They recently passed a bill that allows Duke Energy to start charging customers for new nuclear power plants and natural gas plants before they even generate electricity. And they are allowing Duke to raise their rates by 14.6%. This is what we're dealing with. Corporations that are willing to let people freeze, to lose their lives. They have no concern for people or for life or for anything. Be aware.
Acting like the Duke Energy is the only reason why your utility prices are going up. Data centers are being built like wildfires all around the rural North Carolina areas. And you know who's responsible for the cost of those? Us. We are the working class. And MAGA Republicans, they do not care that it's making our things get higher. They do not. They only care about what's getting in their pockets.
I filled up my car today and I paid $3.81 per gallon. That's what I'm paying in North Carolina right now. Even in the more affordable states, gas has been climbing to $4 a gallon ever since Iran and the US exchanged attacks. And that's not me guessing, that's me reporting on what's actually causing the spike, and the MAGA Republicans are still supporting this while consumers actually have to pay the prices. If you're from North Carolina, how much does your gas cost right now? I want to see how different it looks across the state.
Ground beef at my grocery store has nearly doubled in the last 9 months. Summer 2025, it was sitting right around $4.50. I was like, oh, grab all the ground beef. Like, this is great. I didn't realize groceries were this cheap. And now I just placed an online order for Walmart. $7.50 for 1 pound of ground beef. But when I have to work an hour for ground beef for 2 meals, what? Like, saying that I'm scared is a little bit of an understatement. Like, genuinely.
I remember when $200 worth of groceries would fill your trunk, and now $200 only buys you 3 bags and they fit in your backseat. This is so sad.
Rent alone is way higher than basically your wage is gonna provide. And you still need food, and you still need clothes, and you still need a vehicle and to be able to put gas in it. So how many jobs are people having to work right now?
in order to take care of themselves or their families. $725 is just not feasible anymore in this day and age.
Imagine working full time and still not being able to afford the town you grew up in when you could for so long and everything was so comfortable, but now you're being forced out because rent and home prices are now absolutely fucking insane, because that's exactly what's happening in North Carolina right now. Young adults here are being delayed in buying homes. That feels like something that's not even reachable anymore. Let me know what you're seeing in North Carolina, because if you grew up here, you should have a chance at staying here to live a decent life that you used to live. I mean this disrespectfully, but stop moving to Charlotte, North Carolina. So many people are moving here that it's making living here absolutely impossible anymore. My rent in Charlotte right now is absolutely insane. Like, I'm being forced out because too many people are moving here for no freaking reason. If you live in Charlotte, or if you live in North Carolina in general, how are your expenses right now? How is your budgeting?
All right, y'all, somebody's gonna have to make it make sense, because it sure is cold in North Carolina. It is way below freezing, and I have neighbors that don't have houses because of Helene, and yes, it is in week 9 after that storm, and people are freezing. Now, you want to know why they don't have hotels? Well, that certain letter agency that I can't name because they'll take my video down, the hotel vouchers have expired, and the hotel vouchers that do still exist are way away from people's homes, and they don't have the ability to drive an hour to and from the jobs that they do have, because if you see the unemployment rate, it's gone absolutely nuts in the mountains. And the trailer houses that they are supposedly bringing in, we won't have them till next year. Probably don't want them anyway, because a lot of them are full of mold. Meanwhile, my organization, amongst others, is using individual donations to do insulated tractor sheds at $5,000 a pop, fully kitted out, just to get somebody out of weather like this so they won't be at risk with their entire families. Meanwhile, the U.S. government has given $1 billion taxpayer dollars to Africa for housing. Come on. And by the way, don't tell me it's not my dollars, because the government is not a producer of anything. They are a consumer. So the question I have is this, U.S. Congress, you have the purse strings. You have a very slim Republican majority, but you please use it and shut off this spending. Get those dollars and give it to people who lost their homes in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. And by the way, quit offering them loans. They don't need loans. They need help. We have so many houses that were destroyed. Those mortgages are still in effect. Get the mortgages gone. Give people the money to rebuild. This has to stop. And by the way, I don't want to hear any of y'all defend that letter agency while I have neighbors in need, and while this kind of
And I hate North Carolina simply because they're not resourceful. Nothing about North Carolina helps people when they are down and out. Like, you can be laid off from a job. North Carolina don't want to help you with any type of financial assistance to keep your bills paid. And if they do help you with unemployment, you got what, like a max of 2-3 months before they're like, oh, well, you're on your own. And from here, we're not helping you until the next following year. Food stamps, it's like you got to go through all of this rigmarole just to get food stamps. And then when you get it, they barely want to even give you anything for that either. I always tell people, yes, North Carolina is cheap. Yes, if you looking for a 2-3 bedroom, depending on where you are, probably somewhere in the deep country, you might find it for like $600-800. But other than that, other than just want to be a cheap person, because that's basically what it is, a person who want to be cheap. Outside of a person just wanting to be cheap, there's no type of help for people who live in North Carolina. And they wonder why people are always saying they want to leave. People who don't live in North Carolina, they be like, oh, why would you want to leave North Carolina? Y'all rent, y'all stuff there is just so cheap. Y'all are thinking about the cheapness. What about the resources for the people who live in North Carolina?
For many families in North Carolina, basic living is becoming harder every month because groceries prices are high, rent is expensive, gas costs more than it used to, insurance keeps going up. Now utility bills are taking almost their paychecks, and for someone living paycheck to paycheck, even a small increase in their electric bill, it disrupts the entire monthly budget. An extra $50 or even $100 may sound like it's not much to some people, but for a family already counting every dollar, it can mean skipping meals, delaying medicine, falling behind on rent, or missing a car payment. Many people say they have started turning off lights more often, unplugging appliances, and avoiding using air conditioning. Cold weather makes the situation even worse. During winter, families need heat to stay warm. Nobody should have to choose between staying warm and buying groceries. Nobody should have to wonder whether they should keep the heater on or risk their children getting sick because they cannot afford electricity bill. These are not easy choices. They are painful choices that many working families they never imagined they would have to make. During the campaign, Trump promised that energy costs would come down within 12 months, and many voters, they believed those promises because they hoped life would become more affordable. They wanted lower monthly bills. They wanted to breathe again after years of financial pressure. But today, many people are asking, where is that relief? Instead, many Americans feel stuck. They are working full-time jobs and yet still worry about basic necessities. This creates stress and can affect people's mental health. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.